Good morning, Judge. My name is Matt.
My name's Connor.
And my name's Aakansh.
Recently, we planned and executed our project STEM Connect. But before we dive into the project, we would like to begin with our rationale. One major motivation we had for STEM Connect was addressing STEM DECA's deteriorating network. Since its founding in 2015, STEM DECA has achieved phenomenal growth, amassing well over 300 members and becoming the largest DECA chapter in the state of Pennsylvania. In fact, about 1 in every 3 STEM students participates in our DECA club. However, the issue is that as the club has grown, members have grown apart. Originally, STEM DECA was a close-knit community where students were well acquainted with each other, but now it's grown to the point where students feel distant, or as one member described, feeling lost in the crowd. On top of this, our leadership lacks the resources necessary to hold events like regular club meetings, which could help us remedy this issue. And as a result, support for other members' success has declined, as students' gradual isolation from one another has caused them to be reluctant to support their teammates in competition, inhibiting club success. This can be shown through a survey our team conducted regarding STEM DECA students' perceived levels of peer support, where this year, students reported the lowest ratings in STEM history. Additionally, with such a rapid increase in member count over the past couple years, the amount of resources available to each member in STEM DECA has declined. For instance, without necessities like regular club meetings, students are receiving less individualized attention on how to succeed in their competitive events, and students have also begun to lose access to top-quality preparatory resources like worksheets, practice exams, and practice roleplay papers. All of this hinders STEM DECA's ability to perform well in competition, and worse, is turning students away from DECA altogether. Additionally, STEM DECA has encountered various financial challenges as a result of its recent growth, as, with more members in the club, the costs of operating and maintaining STEM DECA have skyrocketed, and the amount of money that can be allocated to each member in the club has decreased significantly, resulting in a less immersive experience for members overall.
With these issues in mind, we came into this project with 3 key goals. The first was to subsidize chapter expenses, which would enable us to invest in our members' success and their academic endeavors. The second was to prepare members for success by developing them to be professionally and competitively successful through chapter guidance. The third was to enhance our chapter's network by building and strengthening upon connections both between members within our own chapter as well as with local businesses. To achieve these ambitious goals, we organized 3 events. The first event was a mock competition designed to simulate a real DECA conference that we hosted in collaboration with Westchester University's Business Department. We had identified a need for more accessible DECA preparatory resources both within our own chapter as well as that of local chapters. Therefore, we opened up the event to 8 local chapters. At the event, participants had the unique opportunity to practice roleplays and learn and receive feedback from college professors, past ICDC winners, and current state officers. Moreover, we had 5 prominent companies in attendance, ranging from financial giants like JP Morgan to innovative disruptors like Uber. These companies presented seminars and held Q&A sessions offering valuable insight into the real world of business. Our second event was a STEM DECA bowling night, which was focused on fostering a sense of community through a night of fun. We collaborated with our local bowling alley to create a customized package offering 2 hours of bowling at only $13 a person. We charged attendees $20, which allowed for strong profits while also enabling the event to be accessible to all. This helped foster a sense of community as well as building a relationship with the local business. Our third event was a t-shirt sponsorship initiative. Despite our chapter's long-standing desire to create our own chapter attire, financial constraints have hindered our ability to do so. This year, we devised a creative solution by reaching out to local businesses for sponsorships, where in exchange for subsidizing cost of t-shirts, sponsors would receive their logo and branding on back of t-shirts. This helped achieve our goal of not only acquiring chapter attire, but also provided a platform to promote and support local businesses.
Now that we have covered the what and why behind our project, let's move on to how we planned and managed it. Throughout the entirety of our project, we used project management techniques to ensure quality and adherence to our schedule. We identified key milestones as well as the timeline to achieve each milestone for each event.
Let's begin with our mock competition event. We began in partnership in which we collaborated with Westchester University's Business Department to make the event possible. Then we moved on to chapter and business outreach to attract potential competitors, judges, and speakers to the event. Finally came the day of the event, November 18th, where participants had the opportunity to practice, receive feedback, and learn all about business. For STEM DECA bowling night, we began with negotiating with our local bowling alley for lane reservations, a date, and a fair price for the event. Then we moved on to marketing and registration to encourage early signups. We created physical posters while also leveraging social media through Instagram stories and posts. Finally came the night of bowling, where we worked hard to ensure everyone was having a great time and the event ran smoothly. For a STEM DECA t-shirt, we began by hosting a t-shirt design competition that all chapter members were encouraged to participate in. We continuously reiterated our t-shirt design throughout the year, depending on the onboarding of new sponsors, as well as official DECA Inc. branding requirements. The second step was going out into our local communities and finding willing sponsors for our t-shirts. Finally came order fulfillment, where we ordered 300 t-shirts and distributed them among all chapter members. Additionally, we used a risk matrix to manage and anticipate potential risk. By categorizing risk based off of likelihood and impact, we could work to proactively address them, helping mitigate or entirely avoid them before they could even materialize. For example, within our mock competition, we foresaw a low-risk event with a lack of engagement all the way up to a high-risk event of a lack of participants. In the case of our lack of engagement, we foresaw that if participants were not fully engaged throughout the entirety of the event, they'd receive a subpar learning experience and fail to maximize their momentum. In response, we planned for the entire event to be highly interactive, giving participants ample time to socialize, rest, and receive mentorship from experienced peers.
Additionally, to optimize our decision-making, we employed yet another project management technique, a cost-benefit analysis, which entailed breaking down the costs and benefits associated with a decision, allowing for a more holistic evaluation. A cost-benefit analysis was particularly helpful when deciding whether to hire business professors from Westchester University as judges for a competition prep session. Upon conducting a cost-benefit analysis, we realized that the costs included an estimated $1,000, time and logistical barriers, as well as the opportunity cost of being able to spend that $1,000 on desperately needed preparatory resources for our chapter. However, the benefits were also significant. For example, Westchester University, a key project stakeholder, offered to fully cover the costs of judges, since interactions between high school students and business professors would serve in advertising their university. After conducting a cost-benefit analysis, we realized that the benefits outweighed the costs, and therefore hiring professors as judges was a good decision. Next, when managing our project, we measured our success in executing each step of the work breakdown structure by tracking key performance indicators, or KPIs. An example of when we used KPIs in our project was during the marketing and registration portion of our bowling night, where we used the key performance indicator of social media engagement rate, which is the total number of likes, comments, and shares on a post divided by the total number of followers of the account. After our first marketing post, we measured our social media engagement rate relatively low, measuring it at only 5%. We took immediate action in response to this underwhelming statistic, making our future posts brighter, more appealing, and reposting them more so they'd reach a broader audience. Eventually, we saw our social media engagement rate climb back up to 15%.
Now that we've established the how behind our project, let's get to the results. How exactly did STEM or STEM DECA benefit from STEM Connect? Well, to answer this question, after each of our 3 events, we took a step back and evaluated the key metrics we laid out in our quality management plan, as well as any other outcomes along the way.
The results of our first event, the competition prep session, were overwhelmingly positive and set the tone for the rest of the project's successes. In the planning phase of our project, we aimed to increase attendees' self-reported preparedness rating by a factor of 25%. We absolutely crushed this goal, as a whopping 78% of participants reported improved confidence leading up to the district competition. Additionally, we aim to have at least 65% of our attendees who competed at districts qualify for states. And I'm happy to say 86% of our attendees who competed at districts qualified for the State Career and Development Conference. I'm proud to say that we were successful in preparing our members for competitive success. But were we successful in advertising Westchester University? The answer is yes. Admissions was delighted to hear of such efficacy and even invited to have us back next year. In the process of executing our competition prep session, we drew 41 attendees, raised $3,762 in revenue, and $615 in profit. In recognition for our efforts in executing our competition prep session, we received national attention via an Instagram post by the DECA Inc. official page. The post received over 2,000 likes and reached close to 100,000 people.
On top of that, the success of our competition prep session was featured at the Pennsylvania State Career Development Conference and helped the Aakansh campaign and eventually win a highly coveted state officer position.
Our next event, STEM DECA Bowling Night, built on the connections established at the mock competition. For this event, we set goals of achieving at least $800 in revenue and having at least 40 attendees. Ultimately, we greatly surpassed both of these milestones, generating $970 in revenue from 45 very enthusiastic participants. Throughout the night, we actively surveyed members on the experience they were having, where every single person reported feeling more unified with the rest of their chapter. Another significant aspect of this event was its ability to link STEM DECA students to the local business scene, forming long-standing connections that would prove beneficial in the future. We knew that we had achieved this goal when we received a perfect 10 out of 10 business satisfaction score from the Bowling Palace management, as we were certain that our event had provided a fun, safe space for students to let loose and bond with each other. Last, but certainly not least, for our third event of t-shirt sponsorships, we set goals of raising at least $2,682 in revenue, enough to cover the cost of buying the t-shirts, as well as gaining sponsorships from at least 3 local businesses, as these shirts would serve to instill a sense of unity within our chapter's members going into the state competition. Again, we exceeded our expectations, surpassing our revenue goal by 12% and our sponsorship goal by over 33%. Another unexpected benefit of this event was that one of the businesses we partnered with offered internships to 2 different STEM DECA students, allowing them to gain real-world business experience as a direct result of our efforts.
STEM Connect accomplished far more than we originally imagined. However, looking into the future, we have identified a few ways we'd like to improve. Firstly, we'd like to reach out to local chapters earlier, allowing for increased attendance at our competition prep sessions.
Additionally, we would like to transform our mock competition into an official statewide event, as we feel that we could strengthen PA DECA as a whole by providing more opportunities for new members to become both competitively and professionally successful.
Finally, we'd like to organize events with direct support for local charities. Given STEM DECA's sizable membership, we'll work with local charities such as Home the Sparrow to organize fundraisers benefiting low-income and vulnerable women within Chester County. This also aligns with DECA's mission of fostering socially conscious leaders. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. If you missed anything, a brief summary of our presentation can be found in this handout.